Hey guys, welcome to Bradley's Corner on EXO exclusive stream. Today I wanted to talk about something. So yesterday I bumped into an old friend and we had a conversation, and that conversation led to her saying a phrase. She said, "I hope we haven't lived past the good times and didn't know about it." And then it got me thinking, what were the good times? I specifically started thinking of two separate decades. I started thinking about the 2000s and the 2010s, and I wanted to compare those two decades with what made life better. I mean, what made life everything, like the culture, the music, and the movies. Let's start with the 2000s. Those times were very different, eh? I'm not gonna lie, most people who popped in the 2000s are in jail right now for sex trafficking charges. That was the height of romance everywhere, whether in movies, whether in music, whether in pop culture. That was the height of romance. After that, it just went downhill. In terms of music, I'm only gonna talk about R&B. So in terms of R&B, the people who really made it worthwhile were guys like Michael Jackson, R.K. Neo, and for songs like Dilemma. You remember how poppin' that song was by Kelly Rowland and Nelly, right? Yeah, Nelly. In terms of music, the 2010s were a very good time, eh? The music is still popping today, still culturally relevant today, because apparently people don't make real music now. Now, let's talk about movies. The 2010s in terms of movies, I don't know, man. I mean, the 2000s, I don't know, man. In terms of movies, I wasn't really that into it. Basically, the only times you ever watched a movie was, Friday night, Sunday night. Friday night is a good movie. It's a good, fun movie you watch after coming from school and playing and everything. Because we used to play back then. We were so much happier in the 2000s. I don't know if it's because we were kids or life was genuinely better, but I believe life was genuinely better back then. Things were cheap, my dog. Things were so fucking cheap. But by Friday, no, 12 o'clock. It's about but another scene was in a syllable like a trail of ETV, by Kitty, by only that one, by graduating on the premium account. The 2000s were like the height. Like I said, they were the height of romance back then. The 2000s were seriously the height of romance because movie genres like rom-coms were popping. Rom-coms were nice. I actually still do like them now. Kind of cheesy, but still, they're still fun. Sitcoms, but most sitcoms people watched, in terms of sitcom maybe like TV shows, most sitcoms watched back then were usually from the 1990s. Shows like both Friends and stuff. But there was no really big TV culture back then. Very little internet culture back then. I don't know when was Facebook introduced, but I remember being on it in the 2010s, which I'll get back to. And the culture. Back then we were cultural, eh? Back then, the culture we're talking about back then wasn't these modern cultures or these pirated cultures we get from abroad. It was literally our culture. Back then, yeah, I guess those High School Musical movies influenced a few people, but otherwise, yeah, that was it. That was simply the culture. It was nice. It was nice to be a kid, honestly. It was nice. Being innocent was nice. Now onto the 2010s. This is from 2010 to 2019, because the 2020s are absolute garbage. They've been nonsense since, and I don't think they'll change anytime soon. But nobody actually wants to get to 2030, because this is the decade where people need to get their shit together, because 2010s, what a great time for music, man. The whole period. But specifically Summer 16. Summer 16. Everybody remembers that year. Everybody remembers it in a good way. But honestly, I have a contender. Summer 16 was nice in terms of music, movies and all that. Because Summer 16 is the year, I don't know what these guys did, but they just all decided to drop at the same time. Frank Ocean dropped, The Weeknd dropped, Starboy, Lemonade was dropped. How many people dropped that year? Oh yeah, Rihanna decided to give us our last studio album. I doubt we'll ever see another album again. content. But okay, I was saying I have a year that can contend with that. 2018. 2018 was a great fucking year, man. Aish, 2018 I don't want nothing, guys. Back then we rolled set. Yeah, it was 7KX, so what a great time. But honestly, I can't get into detail more. What we did in 2018, cause hey, but 2018 I don't want nothing, guys. That was our first year of varsity for most of the viewers. Outside the parents' control. UB Nalamon back then. I don't even know what the hell is happening in UB right now, but hey, used to be top tier. You know, I actually have a theory. I don't know if it's because we're getting older or life is just genuinely boring. Perhaps somehow to find out about enjoy our life right now. I don't know, nah, because we're old now. The grumpy uncles, yeah. Because we're old now, you're not complaining about everything. Complaining about their music, about their places where they groove. Because you always remember, like, in life, you're always going to think that the things you did were better. Or maybe they're on the same level, but now we always think about it. The shit we did was better. Me, I got all I get. Since the 2020s, like 2020 and all that, oh cool. These years can't even compete with 2012, the year the world was supposed to end. In terms of movies, there was a culture of like watching movies. We started getting things like Fast and Furious. Actually, we didn't start getting them. We started paying attention to them now, because guys, Fast and Furious was a cultural phenomenon, dog. Masa Cinemas, New Capital Cinemas by Masa. Those places used to be packed. That was around 2015, I think 2015-14. Going to the cinemas used to be like something you did as a group of friends. A little bit on TV. Back when guys used to come, get combi go masa, right? They only chaotic or high. They might be like my police almost every Saturday. Masana lemonade, guys. And I want to say the fast movies are the ones which did that, because I don't remember a lot of movies competing with them during the 2010s. The cinemas were the culture. Maybe the 2010s, those were the times where a lot of people were starting to rediscover themselves. That's when most of the people that I know, all my colleagues went, not colleagues, what's it called? Age mates, I don't know what it's called. High school. Yeah, the 2010s were our senior high, junior high, and varsity. So, yeah, you know, maybe like, I don't like alcohol. If you were going to ask me to summarize the 2010s in one word, it would be alcohol. Oh, 2 words, drinking alcohol. I think that would sum it up. Because even though back then we couldn't like hold our liquor as good as we can now, no, I don't know why. Niggas used to drink Reds. No shame. But it's mostly freezing. Like to sum it all up, all of this video, I wasn't like anything informative, it was just a rant. I was just reminiscing about the good times. That to sum it all up, I'd just like to ask you guys what was the best years? What were the best years? Yeah. I'd like to ask you guys what were the best years? Was it the 2000s, back when you were kids, innocent, and back when our parents actually loved us? And the 2010s, back when we started, like, 2010s were nice, I don't want to lie.